Welcome, family and friends. Mike Corsi here with Course I Can. Do anything I put my mind to. So I am starting today with not a home project, but sauerkraut. And I want to take you guys along with that. After my last video of the floor failed so big, go back and watch that if you didn't see it. Almost broke my cabinets. I'm gonna start with home cooking. It's kind of out of the norm for me, but I definitely like being in the kitchen. I feel like I need to be grounded again, and I love cooking, honestly. I'll cook a bunch of meat. I do a really good barbecue, honestly. We'll take you through some of those videos later on, but today is my favorite, sauerkraut. So let's dive into that and get our jars and all of the utensils we're gonna need to get this done. Let's get that cleaned right now, and then we'll jump back over to here and I'll show you how to cut it up and go from there. Big boy knife. This is Kitroy. I'll put a link down below. This is one of my favorite knives. Thank you so much, Eric. I really love this knife. This is the best to get down through my meats, to get down through the cabbage, really easy. So I forgot to mention when I started, I take the first 3 to 4 cabbage leaves off of this prior to starting to cut it up, because you don't know where that's been or who handled it. So I just always take that beginning portion off and make sure that it's all clean. Okay, let's get the second bowl going now. All right, like my first video, got it all over my hair. And of course, I'm gonna clean all this up. Don't worry about it, Shay. I'll get it cleaned up. So then once you get that done, let's go ahead and do my favorite ratio. So it is 2.2% salt to cabbage. So being that this is 4,117, I needed 91. I rounded it up to a little bit around 92 grams of salt. Got that already pre-measured out here. That is not very much salt at all. Non-iodized salt for that. And you're just gonna mash it all together. It's gonna get messy. Let's get down and dirty. All right, so I went ahead and transferred it over to my canning pot. It's so much cabbage. I didn't realize how much I was gonna fluff up, but I brought my glass bowl back so we can mash that together here. We're wanting to sprinkle this across it evenly, but when you're mashing it, you wanna agitate it pretty hard. You wanna break those fibers down. You wanna make it so it produces its own juices. You're not gonna add any water, anything to it. It's just the salt that brings the moisture out of the cabbage and breaks it down. So honestly, all of that may fit in this jar, but I don't think so. Also, I did want to point out, let me go grab that real quick. Started out cleaning these. It's a 6 set, glass weight. I actually really like these ones right here. They got actually a nub that you can grab a hold of and put it down in there. Comes with gasket, seals, everything for the lids, and the most important part, your burper. You need to be able to burp that CO2 out of there and add some water in here so nothing gets back down in there. You don't want this fermentation to get any bacteria or any growth. So you put a little water in here, got a little marker right there, so you just fill that full of water and it just allows that little lifter inside of it to burp out the CO2, but it doesn't let anything go back into it. Really recommend this. It's actually been one of my favorites. I bought a couple sets already because we like this sauerkraut so much that this has actually been my go-to from here on. Fun fact, sauerkraut in German translates to sour cabbage. Wow, what a shocker. Learned that from my AI. So let's get to it. I'm gonna put some gloves on because I don't like sticky stuff on my hands. No, it's not personal protective equipment on this one. Then when you're cutting this up, if you get a few big pieces, it's gonna be fine. It's not gonna really do much to it. You just wanna layer it out like that. And you sprinkle on salt here, not sugar, salt. Yeah, that's salt. Had to make sure. I'm just gonna mash it down in there. Be aggressive. Tear it up. And you'll feel it when you're putting that salt on there and grabbing it and mashing it with your fingers. You want to be aggressive with that. You're gonna feel it actually break down. You just fluff it around and get it all mixed in. Don't worry, you're not gonna hurt it. It does have feelings, but not that much. As you can see, I'm sprinkling it across the whole surface. You don't want to just dump it on. It's not gonna get mixed in nearly as good as if you just sprinkle it across it. As you're going, just squeeze the crap out of it. So as you're going, bring some of that bottom back up to the top, so that way it mixes in really good. You want to make sure it's evenly coated all the way through. Boy, that's really getting moist right now. Oops, good thing I washed everything. You know what? I'm gonna grab another bowl because that is definitely pretty full. You definitely want to hear that crunch. When I'm done here, put all this back into that pot. Make sure it's all mixed together so that way this salt's evenly distributed. I don't want one batch to be sour or it actually stalls it out from fermenting if you have too much salt. So we're gonna make sure that it's evenly coated. All right, maybe I can zoom in on that. You see that? Where it comes out with the little bubbles? That's what you want. You know it's got a good coating once you start seeing your bubbles when you're agitating this. No, it's not soap. All right, that's looking pretty good. Now I want to combine them all, put them back in that pot, make sure that it's all agitated up again. That way I make sure that salt is definitely coated all the way around. All right. In there. So now that I got it in the big pot, it's definitely got a lot of moisture in there. We got to divvy that up between 6 wide mouth mason jars. Bring you guys a little bit closer on that one maybe. All right, now that we got it all situated here, we got all of our jars, our lids, our weights, our burpers, our O-rings, our gaskets, and our sauerkraut. I'm going to start by agitating it one last final time. So I went ahead and cleaned this prior to putting it all back in there. What I'm feeling for is consistency, making sure it's all broke down. And I found a big piece right there. Each time you find that, it kind of feels like a dog toenail, honestly. It's pretty big. You just rip that apart, throw it back in the pot. It'll break down over the fermentation. Smell that. Good stuff. Yep, just keep feeling for them. They're all over in there. All right, the way I like to handle this is just like any other jarring project, you don't want to get anything on the rim. So I've got that funnel right there. That is a key thing. 1 inch is where I like to keep it, but you're going to be able to tell by the weight anyways. But we're going to be able to put all of that sauerkraut down in there without it getting on the rim. We've got some paper towels over there to wipe it up if we do anyways. I'm just going to grab handfuls and start putting it in and pushing it down in there. And I just want to make sure it's all even. So I'm going to strain out the water and just put the kraut in right now. I may not fill all 6, I may fill more than 6. I don't know where it's gonna go from here. I'm just gently pushing it down with my fingers there. I'm not really putting a butter knife down in there, getting all the air pockets out. I'm not worried about that. I just wanna get it evenly spread and see where I'm gonna end up. All right, then I'm gonna go back and see where I feel like it's a little lacking and put a little bit more in those ones. Got all those evenly distributed. Now I'm ready to go ahead and put the weights in there and see how level they are. I wanna make sure that everything's weighed down, so I'm gonna actually get a butter knife and do that first. I'm gonna get my gloves and we'll go forward with that. Oakland, that's not where my duct tape goes, buddy. All right, I'm just gonna be pushing it down in there, making sure it all goes down into the middle. Okay, if you happen to get it on your rim, it's okay. We're gonna clean that up at the very end anyways. All right, looks pretty good there. Gonna grab a couple of these weights and push them down in on top of that as well. That's all that's to do, is hold that sauerkraut down underneath that moisture. These actually are probably gonna work out better being a little lower than as high as I usually go. I've had some times where it actually burps up so much that it comes up and over the rim and it creates so much moisture that I can't contain it. This will take about 1 to 6 weeks. It depends on how you like your sauerkraut to taste. It's all by preference. The longer you leave it in, the more sour it gets. That's why I like these glass pucks. They actually got a curve to them. We all like curves. Okay, I'm gonna take all this juice here and divvy it up between all of those containers. Try to get every little bit I can get. Bet you it's more than this. So much moisture in there. Just a little bit more. Pick those up, pour a little extra in there. You wanna make sure it stays saturated. That's all cabbage juice. It's good stuff. Take a drink if you want. You can taste it now, it won't hurt you. It's just salt and cabbage. Wait until the end of this video. Maybe I'll take a slurp of it, let you know what I think. What I'm watching for here is I just don't want it to go up and over the puck into where the handle is. I want to keep that clean. And I might have just gone up and over that one. Yep, so I'm going to take a little bit out. Okay, like I said, 1 to 6 weeks, depending on your preference. You got a little cabbage still down in there. Doesn't get any better than that. That's good stuff. Try it, you'll like it, guarantee it. Okay, I'm gonna clean those rims and put our seals on. They got these little seals you put right in the middle of the hole, right there in the middle of the cap. What that is for the burper to go into. You just want to push it in there firmly. You don't want to push it too much. You don't want to break that gasket. It is a pretty sharp stainless steel lid. If you push it hard enough, it would actually pierce that. Give it a tighten down. Don't go crazy. If you go too tight, you'll actually bunch up that gasket and it won't seal, and you'll have where you get contaminants going down inside of it. You'll get bacteria growing in there with all that carbon monoxide. So you want that to escape from there. You don't want to allow anything else to go down in there. All right, so I put the caps on a little too early. I had to go out and get me my distilled water. We're just gonna put a little bit of that in each one of these just until we see that float. There it goes. That's about it. Not very much. Okay, now we got that. We're gonna cap them all. And what I like to do is you just never know what's gonna happen. I like to get me out a baking sheet, throw down a paper towel and stack them on there before I put them in my cabinet. And I just stick it up in the liquor cabinet and leave it up there. So I'm gonna get that done. All right, there you go, guys. There's part 1 of a 2-part sauerkraut making. If you like it, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and share. So I appreciate you guys watching this. We'll talk to you guys soon. I almost forgot to mention, you definitely want to keep this between 54 and 72 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you got fluctuation in your temperatures, just put it accordingly down in your storage or up in your cabinet, wherever you want. We'll see you guys on the next one.